Alright, season 1 of The Ones Who Live is out. Most of us have seen it, so let's talk about it. The show was so hyped, so let's see if we got all that we wanted. First off, the show was definitely something new. It felt very fresh. Everything just looked so freaking cool. The helicopters and CRM soldiers, it's just so freaking badass. I never really thought that I'd see something like this in The Walking Dead. It was so high production. The visual effects looked amazing, everything looked amazing honestly. Something that I also just need to mention is the insane world building. The Walking Dead for the most part never really focused on the world building. Sure, we saw characters traveling around the US, but when they found the community, they usually stay there for a few seasons. Now in the spin-offs they're really trying to make a bigger world, especially in The Ones Who Live. Immediately in the first season after the intro, we were already thrown into the woods, with huge helicopters in the background. Then we were in the giant city, then we were traveling around a little, and then we went to another CRM outpost. It was just crazy. Of course the budget for this series made all of this possible, but when you watch the series it really feels like there's a bigger world out there. This especially applies to the first episode. I think we never ever saw such a world building in The Walking Dead before. The hype and fear they managed to build for the CRM is huge. You actually feel that the Civic Republic is this absolutely huge place. In episodes 4 and 5 they focused a little more on Rick and Michonne, and in episode 6 we again saw this huge CRM outpost with thousands of soldiers. Although I still think that episode 6 felt way too small for the finale of such a show with such a build-up, but we'll get to that later. But alright, the show looks amazing, the world building is amazing, but what most of us actually care about is the story. So how were the characters actually handled? Well, I'm gonna put it this way. The Ones Who Live is a love story. Most of the focus was on Rick and Michonne, and they handled that fantastically. Michonne finds Rick, but he's different than she expected, and she's taking this personally until she realizes that she should try to help him and live her expectations for him out of this. She basically finds a different Rick than she expected. Although the love part of the story was handled very well, I have some issues with the whole CRM part. Immediately in the episode 1 we are introduced to the Civic Republic, this really huge community of survivors. I mean, we were very hyped for the reunion, but hey, we also wanted to know really badly what happened to Rick and more stuff about the CRM. So in episode 1 we got a lot of insight into the army, why Rick couldn't get away and all of that. But through the episode, CRM had a smaller and smaller part in the story as everything was about Rick and Michonne. Actually, I'm gonna put it this way. All episodes were great, except episode 6. I mean, look, I get that they wanted to finish the story with a happy ending, but really? I mean, we saw how brutal the CRM is. We saw that Rick couldn't escape, and yeah, Michonne helped him get his confidence back, but Michonne is too careless. I mean, the CRM was formed by the Pennsylvania National Guard. Why does she think that they can take them all on? I mean, The Walking Dead to me was always a pretty grounded show when it came to how much a single person can accomplish. Sure, Rick had his moments when he just went crazy and became overpowered, but do you remember the times when people actually died in The Walking Dead, like a lot? I mean, yes, it is a love story, but this idea that they can take the whole world on if they are together, like, come on, why was that necessary? So I really have a problem only with episode 6. I mean, just imagine this. Bale doesn't die in episode 6 and Rick is shot while Michonne and him escape the CRM outpost. A situation like this would bring so much realism to the show. I mean, I get that they wanted to end the show and make a happy ending, but they just rushed it. The whole show in general has an incredibly fast pace, but it was fine until episode 6. So General Bale dies, and 5 minutes later in the episode, 5 minutes, I'm not kidding, Rick and Michonne have already killed the whole army of soldiers, and 5 minutes after that the episode was already over. Like, why was that necessary? I mean, they hyped CRM so much in all episodes, and then they just destroyed the whole outpost, and somehow they were the only ones who survived because they had this bag full of water thingy on them. And how did Thorne survive? The explosion was massive. How was she fine? While we are already talking about Thorne, let's talk about other characters in the show. Okafor was an amazing character. I don't know what it is about him, but he was so cool. He died quickly, but I think he's one of the characters that will be remembered, although he didn't have much screen time. Same goes for Nat, an amazing character. Jadis was also great. I love her relationship with Rick. I still don't know if they hated each other or not, but they kind of respected each other. It was kind of funny. Thorne was also an amazing character. She's like Rick, just you know, a female. I didn't like how Rick just forgot about her though. In episode 1 they were friends, in episode 2 they were good friends, in episode 3 Rick was starting to get on her nerves, and in episode 6 they are friends again. It's just that, you know, Rick doesn't care about her anymore. He lies to her all the time and isn't upset at all when she dies. I expected Rick to try to help her or at least stay with her while she was dying, but no, Rick just doesn't care for some reason. The same goes for Bale. He was so hyped, almost like he was the Thanos of The Walking Dead. But then he just died, it was lame. Now I know that what I'm saying sounds really negative, but almost everything I don't like about the show is connected to episode 6. The main problem I have is that the show has such an amazing build-up and it was all resolved in the last 20 minutes of the last episode. I mean, just try to imagine how the story could continue. CRM was presented as a very big threat, and the show could be so much better if Bale and Thorne didn't die. They could do 8 or even 10 episodes instead of 6. 6 was too little. Honestly, I'm disappointed with the ending. Everything was so amazing until episode 6. If they didn't want to do season 2, they could at least make it so not everything was resolved in last 20 minutes of the show. So honestly, if The Walking Dead main show is 10 out of 10 and World Beyond is like 5 out of 10, I'll need to give The Ones Who Live 8 out of 10. It pains me to say this because I love the show so much, but the ending was just so disappointing. I was always saying just good things about it because there were no bad things about the show, but you can just build something so epic in 5 episodes and then just end it with 2 people destroying the whole army. Episodes 1 to 5 all get 9 to 9.5, but episode 6 is straight up 6 out of 10. I still think that this is the best The Walking Dead spin-off so far, but man, that ending was disappointing. I know that my review sounds mostly negative, but I'm just frustrated with the finale. The show could be so much more. After seeing Rick cut off his hand and seeing an army of 20,000 highly trained soldiers, it all concluded in such a stupid way. The reunion at the end with Judith and RJ was sweet, but even that could be done better. So I know that I just shitted on the show really hard, but these are my honest thoughts. It's still a very decent show. There's so many awesome scenes in it, so many cool moments, but I just can't help to think what insane potential and hype were lost with that last episode. It's really a shame, honestly. Maybe I went too far, maybe I'm just very frustrated with the very last episode, but you know, it was the finale of the show and it really dragged down the whole show. I still think that they can make season 2, but considering how far they went to finish the story and how much they literally ruined a lot of things by rushing so much, I'd say they don't want to make season 2. Again, I'm sorry for shitting on the show so much. I didn't want to make the review so negative because I really did love the show. First 5 episodes were really good. Seriously, I loved them so much, but what can I say? The ending really ruined it for me, especially because I can't stop thinking about what kind of things they could do in season 2 if they weren't so desperate to finish it.
And nothing else matters.